Hey guys, Kim Levinsky for the next vlog of the Tahoe 200 journey. Today is Thursday, July 22nd, 2021, and it's been about 2 weeks since the last vlog update, and today, as of today, 49 days away from Tahoe 200, and I called this a few weeks ago. I knew that summer was going to fly by, and it is going so fast. I wanted to slow down just a little bit. I'm excited for Tahoe, and the training has been so much fun, but it's gone way too fast, just way too fast. So let me catch you up on the last 2 weeks. It's been bananas over here in Jersey. A lot of stuff going on with Sasquatch trail running. My trail running company is really taking off. We've had a couple of really fun races in the last couple of weeks. A few more coming up for the rest of the summer. I'm just looking down at my old school paper calendar here to kind of catch you up on what went on the last 2 weeks. So after that crazy monsoon trip up to New Hampshire, came back and did a lot of recovery, and then just got kind of jumped back into training. And this last week got out and did just a ton of mountain trails, which was so much fun. Basically just went in a bunch of different directions, about an hour to 2 hours from where I live here in New Jersey. So last Sunday and Monday, I did my 2 long back-to-backs. I got out to Bear Mountain area first on Sunday. Got to do some of my all-time favorite trails out there. Did a really fun loop that included Anthony's Nose, and then it went over the bridge to Bear Mountain, and then also did Popalope and Torn. So it was a really nice 3-summit loop, got in some nice mileage, great vert. It's a really fun place to trail run and hike. And then the next day I went in the other direction and headed west about an hour to the Delaware Water Gap and did another one of my favorite loops, which is going up Mount Tammany, and then you go down to Sunfish Pond, and then from there you run across the bridge. There was a lot of bridge running the last 2 weeks. You go across the bridge and you cross into Pennsylvania. So first you're in New Jersey, then you're in Pennsylvania, and you go up on the other side. That mountain is called Mount Mincy, and then you come back down, cross back over the bridge. And that's a really fun loop. It's about 19-20 miles long, and the day before that I got in about another 20 miles. So it's been a really fun couple of weeks getting out to mountain trails. I'll catch you up on this past weekend. The title of this vlog is Hot Mess, because I think it was probably the biggest hot mess trail weekend I've ever had in my entire life. And I'm not being dramatic. It was kind of like a series of unfortunate events and decisions that took place. So the original plan was to go up to the Catskills. So the Catskills is an area about 2 hours, 2.5 hours north of me in New York. And there's a bunch of amazing, rugged, technical mountains that are up there. And there's a trail that's called the Devil's Path. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's extremely technical, a lot of climbing. It's a point to point, and those stats are about like 18-20 miles or so, with a ton of vertical, probably like 8,000 feet of climbing, rugged trails. And so the plan was to camp at what's called Devil's Tombstone campground, which is essentially kind of in the middle. And so my plan was Friday, I would head out there and do an out and back on the western side of Devil's Path, and then sleep at the campground. The next day, get up and do an out and back on the east side of the Devil's Path. So essentially covering the entire thing, but you're doing 2 out and backs that the stats would be about 22, 24 each day, and somewhere between 8,000 to 9,000 feet of climbing each day. And all went well the first day. I got out onto the western half of the Devil's Path, did the out and back. It was rugged, it was hard, it was hot, so hot. It took about 9.5 hours, and that went well. I started late. I got up there at 12:30 and finished a little after 10 o'clock at night. Where it started to go wrong was when I got cell service on the West Kill Mountain Summit. I started getting texts from a couple of friends who are very experienced runners and hikers in the Catskills, and they were saying, Kim, like there's a crazy weather front coming in. Really should consider, redoing your plans. Don't go out tomorrow. If we were you, wouldn't go out for the other half of the Devil's Path. And so I got to practice a lot of troubleshooting skills because at this point, you know, I had everything ready to camp. You know, the plan was to stay up there for 2 days to get that second long back-to-back in. And a lot of decisions had to be made late at night. And I ended up bailing on the second day, taking my friend's advice. So I want to show you a clip of when I finished the western half of the Devil's Path, and you can see I was a little bit loopy at the end. Yes. All right. 23 miles, 84 gain, 82 loss, 925. Stop that. You know, that wasn't even the hard side of the Devil's Path. That was really tough. You know, my legs feel pretty good. I'm gonna sign out here. My legs feel good. My body feels beat up, I think from, it was so technical, all those rocks. Wow, very, very technical. My brain is tired. I think it's just from all the focus of like all the technical trails. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. The heat definitely got me, that's for sure. I was feeling kind of nauseous, almost like towards the turnaround point, so halfway. I think it was just from the heat. It was so hot. You know, the humidity was really tough. I think when I got service, I checked on the temperature, and with the humidity, it was almost 100. It was like 98 degrees, so it was really hot. What else? Those are some negatives. Yeah, I'm disappointed about tomorrow for sure. You know, I was looking forward to doing that, but getting text from friends who are more experienced than me here in the Catskills saying, don't do it, you gotta listen to them. And I'm reminded of the Hillary Allen's book. She talked about respecting the mountain, and I want to do that. So I'm gonna figure out in the next 15-20 minutes if I'm gonna stay here tonight or drive home, try to salvage tomorrow somewhere locally. But a lot of positives today. I mean, first of all, doing that by myself, solo, was great. It's definitely some of the most technical trails I've ever done solo. For sure, the most technical trails I've done solo at night. That was a tough descent. All these trails, they really get you at the end with these like 1,500 foot descents in a mile. But yeah, got to practice gear, got to practice good nutrition. I think nutrition went pretty well. Hydration was okay. I probably should have done maybe like one more scratch, I think, during the day, especially with the heat. But I was feeling nauseous. I wasn't sure what was going on. So I guess next time I'll try to do more scratch. Yeah, positives. I was running at the end, so that was nice. I think I'm feeling a little loopy right now, so I'm gonna stop talking, but all in all, it was a good day, and hats off to the Devil's Path, and that wasn't even the harder side. So I will be back at another point to do the harder side when there's not flash flood warnings beeping on my phone and severe thunderstorms. So that's it. All right. They also said, you know, Kim, if you can get out of there tonight, there's flash flood warnings, there's severe thunderstorms. You don't want to be camping in the Catskills with that weather front. And so it was probably close to 11 o'clock when I headed out of there and started driving south. I'm not going to give all the details of what happened on the vlog. If you want to find out the real story, you can reach out to me and I'll tell you the details. But it was a wild night, and I survived, but I was safe, and it was good. But it ended in only a couple of hours of sleep. And then, you know, I was kind of desperate to salvage the weekend because this was my planned back-to-back long efforts. And so I decided, well, where I ended up, I was pretty close to Bear Mountain. So I said, I'm going to go back to Bear Mountain. I know those trails. It's going to be great. Well, it was it was just as hot, if not hotter, that second day, and it ended up being like the worst slog of my life. Again, I'm not being dramatic. I had issues with the heat. I was feeling nauseous every time I tried to run, and after some tears on the mountainside and making a few lifeline calls to some friends, decided to pack it in for the day. So here's a little clip of my low moment, because, you know, I wanted to include this because, you know, I don't want you to think it's all happy and everything goes right all the time. That's not the reality of trail running and training and ultras and stuff. So check out this clip. This is what happened on that day. You can see the state that I was in. All right, real talk, real time. I am on the struggle bus, riding it pretty hard right now. I'm out here at Bear Mountain. I only slept about 2 hours last night in my truck, and that was unpleasant. And now I'm out here and it's really, really warm again. I think it's about almost 100 again with the humidity. So I'm really feeling the heat. Still feeling a little bit nauseous. I tried running. When I'm running, I just don't feel good. So I think it's just from not sleeping and the heat. So it's pretty much just a hike slog right now. But yeah, just wanted to share. It's not all puppies and rainbows and kittens, you know? I'm for sure feeling the grind. Was definitely, listen, I'll be honest, I was feeling discouraged up there on the mountain before, over on West Mountain. And it's really hard not to think about, you know, being in the moment. It's really hard. And my mind was wandering to like, well, what's 200 miles gonna be like, you know? But I have the best friends and a really, really solid support system, because I chatted with a few people who just were encouraging me, like Maddie. Talked to Matt and he said, you know, the fact that you're out there now is a win, and you didn't just go home and pack it in. Like, you slept for a couple hours and you got out there, and that's a big win for the weekend, you know? And he encouraged me, you gotta think, just like in Tahoe, aid station to aid station. So same thing with training, you know, stay in the mile that you're in. I chatted with Dina for a little bit, and she really encouraged me that this is all, it's great training, and to just focus on the work that you're putting in. So I think just hearing that from a couple different people is a really good reminder, and it's a big takeaway from the weekend is to, I think, put some more focus on the mental side of it and just try to be a little bit more disciplined with my thoughts, I think, when things get hard. Because really, like, if I take inventory right now, my legs feel good, no pain. I mean, my feet hurt, but that's just from time on feet. But there's no pain. Like, when I do run, I'm fine. You know, I'm doing well with fluids and food. And so I think it's just a matter of, like, staying disciplined with my mind, you know? And I think this is a really good, I'm glad that this weekend happened. You know, it's not, I don't think it's definitely not what I was planning on. So I think just a lot of, like, troubleshooting this weekend of making a plan and then revising the plan. My friend Kaylin, we were talking this morning, and she pointed that out, that this has been a really great weekend for me to just work on those troubleshooting skills. So I am going to focus on the positives, but take away, you know, acknowledge some of the things that didn't go great and move forward with them, and, you know, just keep moving forward. I think that's the biggest takeaway from the weekend. Keep moving forward, trust the process, be confident in the work that I'm doing, and just enjoy it, you know. For sure, this has all been type 2 fun. This weekend is going to take me a little while to say that it was more than type 2 fun. A lot of type 2 fun. So anyway, all in all, it wasn't the weekend that I was planning on or hoping for, but I think it was a really good training weekend. So after that, things kind of continued to spiral. I drove home and I got another 2 hours of sleep. And then again, another desperate attempt to salvage the weekend. I said, you know what, all right, plan A failed, plan B failed, plan C, I'm going to get out for night trails and really just try to crank out some miles and do it on tired legs and a tired brain. And that didn't work out either, because that storm that was in New York was making its way down to New Jersey. And so it was like the most severe lightning storm that we've had all summer. And at the time I was with friends, my trail family, and they actually took my shoes away and they said, you're not going out. And so that was the end of plan C. And getting some advice from friends, they said, just go out tomorrow, go to sleep, go out tomorrow and try again. And so that's what I finished with plan D, got out to the Watchung Reservation, just local trails, and got in a couple of hours on those trails. So it was a wild weekend. You know, sometimes things don't go the way that you're planned. For me, I am very type A in that way. In like, if I have a plan, I want to execute it. So I think ultimately it was a fantastic weekend now that I've had a lot more sleep and time to think about it. Number one, like I mentioned before, learning to troubleshoot and make decisions on the fly, I think was invaluable. Number two, getting a couple of days of really, really high heat and just learning like what works and what doesn't work. And I struggled feeling nauseous for a few hours of each of those days. And so learning a couple of strategies with dunking my head in the river anytime I could get to cold water. The ginger chews definitely seemed to help. But let me take a moment to talk about the ginger chews, because that was at my low moment on the trail. And I just have to say, why did they make the ginger chew packets so difficult to open? Because at that point, I was upset. There might have been some tears. And I was thinking, like, if I can't open this ginger chew packet, how am I going to run 200 miles? I'm just being honest. That was the situation. Struggling with the heat also led to some conversations with Dina Griffin, sports dietitian, and she's got some ideas for me for the next couple of hot long runs to do a little preloading with electrolytes and sodium. So, you know, sometimes you got to struggle a little bit to find out what needs to be improved, and I'm excited to try some of the strategies that she's got in mind. That was valuable. I think also learning about myself with some sleep deprivation, which is so valuable for Tahoe coming up, because there's not going to be a lot of sleep. And I was with those friends that I was with on Saturday evening. A few of them are coming to Tahoe with me. So getting to experience sleep-deprived Kim, I think they had a lot of fun with that. But it's led to some great conversations with my crew about, you know, what is going to happen when there's not a lot of sleep. What are things that work? What are some strategies that we can use? And I think that was an unintentional, just really positive outcome of this past week. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this kind of vlog wrap up of the past couple of weeks. It's been a ride. I am for sure feeling the grind of training. I was talking with Matt Klein, my buddy who's doing the Triple Crown this year, and we were just talking about how like this summer has been a grind with the weather. If you've been watching this vlog, you know that it's been a lot of rain and a lot of heat and humidity. And it was just nice to talk to Matt and have a little affirmation from him of like, he's having a hard time too. And I think the mental wear and tear is not to be understated of the training. Because physically, obviously, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of just kind of beating up your body and practicing recovery. But also, I think a lot of attention needs to be paid to the mental side of the training. And that, I think I've really been learning the last couple of weeks, that it's just as important to train your mind mentally as it is to, you know, put in the miles, put in the vert, and all that stuff for Tahoe training. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the last couple of weeks. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, for those of you interested, I'm not huge on stats, but I'll share some stats here. These are, if you look down below, these are my stats for the last 2 weeks of training. And then I'll show you where I'm at here with the month of July as well. So again, as of today, 49 days away until Tahoe 200, and it's just coming in real hot. It's coming in hot. So anyway, thanks guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next update.